Welcome back, friendos and randos. We are going into the semi-finals of the Grand Asia Open. Now, they are streaming these simultaneously, but I have the privilege of being able to watch these back. So I will stream them one at a time. There's going to be two separate games. It's going to be Blue Purple Luffy versus Red Rayleigh that we saw just beat the Nami earlier, and it's going to be Blue Purple Luffy Mirror. So that's gonna be the two games that we see on stream for the semi-final. Let's find out who is going to Worlds. Let's start right away. We're going to focus on the first game first, which is Rayleigh versus Blue Purple Luffy, and it looks like we've already missed the 3 Dawn turn. It looks like it was Boa Hancock into a 6k swing with the Rayleigh leader. Now we're going to see 5 Dawn turn for the side of Aldous versus Yin, the Blue Purple Luffy. He plays a Bon Clay down on his 4 Dawn turn, ramping up to 5, and then has 1 Dawn open for the turn. He looks like he counted out the 6k swing with a Zorojiro first. Now let's see if he can find that 4-cost Luffy with this Shakuyaku Searcher. And it is not going to be that. It is a Armament Haki, I believe. No, it looks like this one is Observation. It's really hard to tell which is which. Observation is the one where you can see more of the elephant, and Armament is the one where you can see the elephant getting wrecked. So that's how I tell for now. We are gonna see the 4-cost Luffy, Divine Departure and Observation Haki are reviewed, and 3-cost Sanji comes down, which is huge. 1 Restodon gets to be attached here, and it looks like it's going to be to either leader or Boa, definitely, and that is gonna be the Boa leader effect, gonna bring her up to 6k, and there is a 6k swing from the Boa, probably gonna trash this, put 2 Dawn on leader, and there it is, 7k swing with the leader. Now with those 2 rested Dawn, there goes the Franosuke to counter out, and Yin still staying at 2 life. 5 Dawn now for the God Thread, most likely. It's gonna be Nami instead, actually. Draws 3 and will put 2 cards to the top or bottom. I do see a Thunder Bagua drawn off of that 5-cost Nami, which is really, really good for Yin. He's really happy to see that for sure. Let's see what else will be available for Yin to play now. He does put 2 cards to the bottom and then passes turn, not hitting into Aldous' life, not giving him any additional resources, not giving him the life cards that he really wants in order to expand his hand size. Now he does have 7 Dawn, I believe. Now he will go for firstly a Boa Hancock 2-cost, searching for an event or 4-cost Luffy from the top 5 cards of his deck. Choosing what will be the option here, we will get to see very shortly. He did show us earlier he does have the Divine Departure, can get rid of an 8-cost Katakuri later, goes for an Observation Haki, immediately casting it, attaching 1 rested Dawn to, sorry, 1 active Dawn to the Rayleigh leader. Now looking at the top 4 cards of his deck, is there a 4-cost Luffy available for him, or is there not? Now Yin is probably going to want to use that Thunder Bagua to ramp up to 8 Dawn and then be able to use his leader effect next turn. However, let's see if Aldous will play into that, or he will show some respect and not swing into it this turn. As Rayleigh, generally you can't really afford to be that respectful, not swing for 1 whole turn. But let's see if he will do so. Here is gonna be the Sanji taken off of that Observation Haki. Does allow you to grab 3-cost and 4-cost characters. Here is another Observation Haki. Looking at the top 4 again, will he go for something like a Luffy here? It is gonna be that Luffy. However, already 4 Dawn rested, not able to play the Luffy this turn, will be able to replace his board if they do get removed by something like the 9-cost Lin Lin the following turn though. Here is the Rayleigh gonna swing for 7 with leader. All this holding on to his leader, considering what he can swing with. He can go 888 this turn. It is gonna be 7 with the Sanji first. 7k swing, 1 Dawn attached, countered out with Franosuke. Only 4 hand cards, I believe, for Yin. Nope, there's actually quite a bit. There's, I think, 5 hand cards available, so quite healthy still. 2 remaining active on this. Shakuyaku can go in for a 6k swing if he attaches these 2, plus gives it 2k with his leader power. Here is a 7k swing with the Rayleigh leader. Thunder Bagua does ramp Yin up to 8. Not what you want to see as the Rayleigh player, however, is what it is. There is the 2-cost Sanji, which allows Aldous to take 1 life and give it 2 rested Dawn as well. Will he swing with this 4-cost Luffy here to do a 8k swing with that leader effect? It is going to be +2 to the 4-cost Luffy. Here's an 8k swing into Yin's leader, and Yin does take that, going to 1 life. Let's see if there is a 9-cost Lin Lin available for the side of Yin. He does get his leader effect off 1 turn earlier than normal. Does grab a Gum Gum Giant off the top 5, puts the remaining on the top, which implies there is a 9-cost Lin Lin or something like that he can play this turn. 6k swing into the 3-cost Sanji. Will that be countered out? It will be 4k counter, and this Bonkley can also swing, however it won't be taken now. Here is a 6k swing into the 6k Luffy. 1k counter required. All this thinking whether he will counter, which card he will counter with. He did show us at least a few counter options. There is gonna be the Conqueror's Haki. Here's 9-cost 9-cost Sanji into 8-cost Katakuri. But remember, all this has the Divine Departure. He can use that to get rid of this 8-cost Katakuri, and he can also get rid of this rested Bonkley now with the Shakuyaku. So pretty decent turn available. And remember, Yin only 1 lifesteal. Shakuyaku into Bonkley here. Slight misplay from all this. If he was going to Divine Departure, should have done it first. But it's okay. Isn't punished for it yet. Divine Departure still on the cards for all this. It is his 9 non-turn. However, if he does Divine Departure, he's not going to be able to do much else this turn. But still really important to get rid of this Katakuri. Here is Divine Departure and Kong Gatling Gun showed, and there is the Katakuri sent to the trash with that Divine Departure sent away for now. Will not be coming back at least for the remainder of the turn. The Hancock is buffed 2k with the Rayleigh leader effect, currently at 5k base. We are gonna see at least 1 Dawn attached to make it a 6k swing. Remember, Gum Gum Giant is available for Yin. He did search it off the top 5 for his leader effect at the start of this turn. Here we go. Hancock swings for 6. 1k counter with the Bonkley. Sanji is going to use its effect. Take 1 life card and attach 2 rested Dawn. Now going to go in for a 7k swing. Maybe a bit higher. 2 active Dawn available. That Luffy now also going up to 6k base because there is 2 attached Dawn on the board. So there is the 7k swing, forcing a 2k counter out of Yin. He does have it. Also, Hachi dropped here. 2 more active Dawn remains. How else will the swings go? We can see something like 6x8 by using Boa's effect to attach 2 rested Dawn to the Luffy, for example. He might want to leave 1 active Dawn to counter out with something like the Conqueror's Haki, although the 9k swing from this 9-cost Sanji is probably not going to be countered at all. So here is a 6k swing from the 4-cost Luffy, countered by Bonkley, and then Boa's effect attaching 2 rested Dawn to the Rayleigh leader and goes for a 7k swing. So he is going to leave 2 active Dawn here, countered out with the Gum Gum Giant, discarding a Nami. Dawn -2 draws 2 cards. It's a Usohachi and another Gum Gum Giant. That's so painful. It is going to be another 2-cost Sanji, so just allowing his 2-cost Sanji to be removed probably and replaces it for the following turn. However, will Yin be able to punish this? Because that means Rayleigh will be going down to 2 life just by his own self-harm. He will be able to take not many more hits after. Gear second is picked up for Yin. He's currently on 3 hand cards, will go up to 5 by the end of this leader effect resolution and drawing for turn. Let's see what he decides to do with the remaining cards. Leaves them on top, goes for his turn, draws for turn here. He does have Gear Second and Gum Gum Giant available in hand, so quite a bit of tankiness. 6k swing into this 2-cost Sanji will get it removed from the board most likely. It is going to go down, and then if there is a 9-cost Lin Lin, we can probably expect this other 2-cost Sanji to get removed. 4k counter required for this 9k swing, however, isn't available. 9-cost Lin Lin comes down, gets rid of this 2-cost Sanji, most likely sending it to the bottom of all this life. While he is going to be happy to have a 2k back in his life, he's not going to be happy to see Yin back at 2 life. And now Aldous only has that Shakuyaku left on board. However, we did see him search 4-cost Luffy and 3-cost Sanji earlier. He can develop his board sideways quite a bit this turn. Let's see if he has any other characters to support that. It is going to be the 4-cost Luffy most likely. If this Shakuyaku can still attack into Yin's face, there's only 3 Don available, sorry, 3 hand cards available on the side of Yin. We are gonna see what else is gonna be played now. Remember, Yin was able to stack the top cards of his deck to heal with this 9-cost Lin Lin, so there may be something like a Red Rock or Gravity Blade trigger that Aldous has to play around. This is gonna be a little bit scary for sure. Let's see what Aldous decides to do here. His Sanji that he did place down last turn was sent to the bottom of his life. Won't be able to draw any more cards with that effect anymore. However, if he has another one, maybe it's still an option. 3 Don set aside currently maybe is going for a 7k swing with this Shakuyaku. We did see Yin grab a gear second, so he can counter out with that. I believe he has also Hachi in hand as well, so quite a bit of counter available. Let's see, leader effect now buffing the Shakuyaku up to 4k base. Let's see how many Don he attaches to it before the big swing. Has 2 Don already set aside. It is gonna be a 6k swing. It looks like Yin only got 3 cards in hand. Counters out with a 6k, with a Usohachi on the 6k swing, which is quite a nice little buff. So we do see 4 Don rested. We're gonna see most likely that Luffy come down, showing the same 2 events, plays down that Sanji, attaching 1 rested Don to the Rayleigh leader. Will he have another 4 cost to play? It doesn't look like there's a very big hand size remaining for all this actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 more Don rested. It is gonna be another Luffy showing another 2 events, but no second character to play down. 7k swing into leader, which is countered out by gear second. Yin goes down to 1 card in hand. However, he will draw 2 this turn, and I do think I see a 9-cost Lin Lin, which can be very bad for all this. 9-cost Sanji is taken from the top 5. Looks like we're changing our mind. There is a Usohachi in the top 5 as well. And do note that 1 Gum Gum Giant was already discarded by the first 9-cost Lin Lin. Gum Gum Giant is taken as well here for the leader effect. Draws for turn now. What is gonna be the play? Is there a 9-cost Lin Lin or not? 6k swing into the Shakuya takes it down and out of contention. 9k swing from Sanji first, now 9k swing from the Charlotte Lin Lin, putting all this at 2 life, which is pretty set for 2 turn later. It is gonna be a God Shred, getting rid of 1 of the 4-cost Luffys and leaving 5 active Don for the side of Yin. 2 cards in hand only. However, so many Don and a Gum Gum Giant means he is in a scary position for all this to worry about. And there's a 6k swing from the Sanji. We know there is a Gum Gum Giant in hand, so why bother with a bigger swing? 6k swing will force the same Gum Gum Giant out as well. It is going to be the Usohachi, and now the last card in hand is guaranteed that Gum Gum Giant. What will all this do? He can actually do a heads up play and try to turn sideways instead, because 3 Don on leader and the Luffy will be able to get rid of these 9-cost bodies. Yin can't swing, Yin can't counter out with only 1 card, and if that card is Gum Gum Giant, yeah, he definitely can't counter out of a 9k swing. However, just goes for a 6k swing into face, same thing. Yin can't counter out, so has to take here. Does still have that Nami blocker though, and that is gonna be a point of concern for him. Does he have any way around this blocker? Does he have any more bodies to put? Last time we already saw he played Luffy without a secondary body, and if he did have one, I think that would have changed a bit the current turn. He would have at least another attack. Here we're gonna see 4 non-rested. It looks like there were 3 non-rested for the Rush Zoro here, and then we're gonna attach 1 to him and swing for 6 into the leader of Yin. This will have to be 1k counter. It is Gum Gum Giant discarding another Gum Gum Giant. Don -2 draws 2 cards. He does get 2 cards that he did set to the top of his deck earlier. He shows 2 events buffing his current Luffy up to 8k with 2 Don attached to other characters on the board, plus that leader effect. 4 + 2 + 2 is 8, and we will see if he can eat up Yin's life card here. 5 Don remaining for Aldous. Currently is going for an 8k swing into the leader of Yin. forces the Nami block out. Is there a Kid and Killer or another Zoro available to push this final life card down? Hopefully. You can only assume Yin does have at least some form of counter on these two cards in hand. It isn't too clear right now what all this has available now. 5 Dawn available. It could be a number of different things. I don't think it's gonna be another 4-cost Luffy. We already saw him play 3 down. However, it could just as easily be a Kid and Killer or another Zoro, or even something like the Jinbei as well. It is gonna be 4 Dawn rested, and it is the Kid and Killer coming in for a 7, maybe 8k swing. It is with the Kid and Killer sending Yin to 0 life. Will he go for lethal here with his 2 Sanji, Charlotte Linlin, and his leader? We are going to see 9-cost Sanji taken off the top 5 and will send the remaining cards to the bottom. Yin draws for turn, 9k swing into this Kid and Killer, and then we're going to see 9k swing into maybe this Zoro here or this 4-cost Luffy. And this is telling me Yin has another 9-cost Linlin. This is gonna be crazy. So Yin just checking what he's gonna do here. 9k swing into that Kid and Killer was taken, so doesn't have to worry about that. 9k swing now into another character, most likely. I don't think he's pivoting to lethal after already swinging into the board. 9k into the 3-cost Zoro here is the play, and it will be taken by all this. Now they're gonna see a 7k swing into the Sanji, 5k counter required to counter out. And I don't think all this will have it here. On KO gets to draw 1, but if 9-cost Linlin comes down, and there it is, we're going to see that 9-cost Sanji discarded and sends this Luffy to the bottom of all this life. Does he have another Kid and Killer to maybe try and force this lethal? Yin only has 1 card in hand and he doesn't have any Dawn open. We can only assume that's maybe like a 1 or 2k counter. Oh sorry, that's 2 cards in hand, so maybe he has maybe he does have a bit of counter available. However, does Eldis have a rush card? He already dumped the Zoro and the Kid and Killer down last turn to force him to 0, but he just has the other 9-cost Linlin. 3 times in a row this Yin has been set to 0 and now currently back at a healthy number. There is the Rush Zoro. Will that be enough? He does have Kong Gatling Gun as well available, so he can buff his leader to 9k with only 2 Dawn. That is currently 3 plus 2 for the Zoro plus the Kong Gatling, and then we'll have 4 Dawn available. He can go 9 by 9, but Yin has 3 cards right now. We're gonna see the Boa go for a search here, maybe looking for something like the Armament Haki or another Kong Gatling Gun perhaps. This will be neutral in Dawn because he can get this Boa to the trash and attach 2 rested Dawn to one of his characters. So here we are, 7 active Dawn, 2 Dawn attached to Rayleigh with the Boa Hancock's effect already. Currently we're expecting 9k swings twice with that Zoro and the King Kong Gatling Gun. First, we're going to see a 8k swing with this Rayleigh countered out with a Charlotte Pudding and a Uso Hachi. All this, not happy to see that at all. Can drop a Zoro and just go for a 8k swing with the remaining 6 Dawn he has left, saving the Kong Gatling for the following turn. But does he have enough counter to survive the 2 9-cost Linlins and this Sanji? All this doesn't really have a choice. He does have to force Yin to go to 0 life here. And there is the Zoro. But if he attaches all his Dawn, he won't have any available for counter events, which is also something that is very worrisome. I'm sure Aldous wants to survive one more turn. Does he have enough counter? We saw him show earlier he has that Kong Gatling, so there is at least 1 brick. Aldous is hovering 2 active Dawn, maybe going for a 7k swing with this Zoro. However, if Yin has a 2k counter in hand, this is going to be really bad for all this. He does have to force him to 0. There is a 8k swing and Yin takes it, going to 0 once again. Does he have another Charlotte Lin Lin? I do see the 9 cost Sanji. I don't know if there's a Lin Lin there. And even if he has it, will Aldis have even enough counter to survive the escalator from Yin? We do know the last two lives are a 2k and a 1k in that order. So we can form some form of an escalator here. There is going to be a few options for Yin, I believe, on this top 5. If he just goes for the 9 cost Lin Lin again, I'm sure he's going to be safe. Here he grabs the 9 cost Sanji. Does he have the 9 cost Lin Lin on the top? He does not. Sends the remaining cards to the bottom, draws for turn. Could it be that the 9 cost Lin Lin is instead in his hand already? And that would be so painful. And it does look like the case. There is going to be a 9k swing into the Rush Zoro, 6k swing into the leader. All this is forced to counter out here. And does drop that Sanji. 9k swing with the Charlotte Lin Lin now. Takes that last face down life and 9k swing to grab this 2k Sanji now. And I can't believe it. We're going to see the 4th 9 cost Lin Lin, and there it is. Oh my goodness. Sends the Nami to the bottom of the life. And what a painful experience for all this here to be shut down by Charlotte Lin Lin. Does he have another Kid and Killer? This deck usually plays 2 or maybe 3 sometimes. We're really hoping he has it so that he can go for lethal here. He has to go. He's only got one option. Here's the Buggy looking for maybe an observation haki so he can go for lethal. 5 card search here. What is the play? What does he have? Is going to be the only option now is a rush character, and that will answer it. And if he doesn't find it, it's just over. Here's the Conqueror's Haki, not able to dig any deeper with that card. Without even a single 1 cost character on the board, all this is out of options, doesn't have anything to play towards except for a rush character, but right now it just isn't available. That is the 3rd 9 cost Lin Lin, has shut all this aggro down completely. The board is totally empty. 7 Dawn attached to the Rayleigh leader and goes into the face of Yin and leaves 2 active Dawn. Will Yin find his 4th Charlotte Lin Lin to go back to 1 life again? He grabs a 5 cost Nami blocker instead, draws for turn. Can he finish the game with these attackers? He has 3 Charlotte Lin Lins and a 9 cost Sanji. That's going to be a lot of attacks. He's only at 2 life. Here's a 10k swing now with the 9 cost Sanji first. And there is the 10k swing into the face of all this. Forces 2 Conqueror's Hakis out immediately, giving 6k counter. And also reducing the attacks on board by 2k for the rest of the turn. Will Yin try to go for lethal still? He only has 9 remaining Dawn. His leader is 4. His Charlotte Lin Lin's at 7. And 5 cards still in all this hand. He's very tanky. Yin's only grace is that he can have 1 attack not connect, but at least 3 of them must. With 9 Dawn, he can try to split 3 and then 1 1 1 2. Is that 9? No, 3 and then 1 1 2 2. So 9 into 8 8 9. Sorry, 7 7 8 8 9. 3 on leader would be 7. 1 1 on each Lin Lin is 8. And then 9 for the last one. That's what it's looking like right now. And that would be countered with 4 plus 5 or 3 plus 5. 7k counter will be enough for all this to survive here. But we did see Yin grab a Nami earlier. He might go for just staying alive for 1 more turn. We do know all this has 6 hand cards, but one of them is that Kong Gatling gun. Here is a 3k counter required, 7k swing from this 9-cost Lin Lin. And it will be countered with a Sanji and a 4-cost Luffy from Aldis. So only one room for error for Yin. He has to split his Dawn perfectly in order to finish, and with 2 lives being both 1k, he has to go for a standard escalator play. Only 1k difference between all his 3 attackers. 9 Dawn available to him, 3 Dawn on leader puts him at the same as his 2 Charlotte Linlins, which would be 7, 7, 7, 6 Dawn remaining. He can go for another 7k swing here with his Charlotte Linlin. That would allow him to go half and half, 6 and 3 on leader and Charlotte Linlin for a 10-10 swing. Let's see if Aldis has it. Aldis desperately also wants to keep the 2 doubt that is power in his hand, so he can go for the unblockable play next turn. So we do know he does have 2k counter, but he may not be able to use it. That being said, if Yin goes half-half with the remaining Dawn, putting 5 on leader, 4 on Lin Lin, that would be 9 by 11. I'm not sure if all this can afford to counter out of that. Let's see what he has. He takes the first life. What he's saying is that I have enough to counter out 9 or 11k or 10k. 1 Dawn put back in his cost area. Still quite a big gap. 1 minute left on the clock. Will it be lethal all in, or will it be the safe play with the 5-cost Nami? Remember, Rayleigh unblockable. However, Blue Purple Luffy has a lot of counter events, can very reasonably counter out of such a large swing. Still 7k swing into all this, trying to force out that unblockable event. All this has to counter here. He does lose it, so no unblockable event for all this. Does he have a second one? Nami is placed down now. Top 3 added to his deck. Places 2 cards to the bottom now. Was all this able to find another unblockable event? Let's find out. He sets 2 cards to the bottom of his deck, so Yin passes over now. Destiny draw. Does all this have it? If not, he has to split 2 ways. That buggy is basically 5k with the leader effect. We do know there is the Kong Gatling as well, which will give it +4. With only 5 cards in hand for Yin, will he be able to survive? Splitting halfway. All this is counting the cards left in his deck. Maybe already knows where that last search will take him, where his last unblockable event is. If we're just looking at a half-half split, that buggy is gonna be a 5k base right now, so we're just gonna see him buff it half-half. First Dawn goes for another buggy. We're really digging for it. Can we find 2 doubt that is power? He goes for another Kong Gatling, so effectively gets 1k extra for this turn. Does have it! He goes unblockable. Attaches 2 Dawn to his Rayleigh. Plays 2 of the event. Rests 4 Dawn and gets 8k power to his leader now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 plus 8, 18k into Yin. Does he have it? That's 13k counter. 3 counter events plus 1k will be enough. Here is the Thunder Balga. That's 4. Goes to 10. Here is the Gear second. Here's another gear second. That's 10, 12, 14k counter. He goes to 20. Exactly 1k extra. And is able to counter out of the double Kong Gatling gun into his face. Luffy says, that is my technique. I know exactly how to play around it. And that is just with a bunch of guard. And I am alive. And I am going to the Asia Finals or the World Championship after this. And Yin takes the game from Aldis. Oh my gosh, down to the wire. What a game. He did have the last unblockable. He played that as well as he could, but Blue Purple Luffy just has way too much counter. And there it is, Aldis. Unfortunately, his run at the Grand Asia Open Finals is ended with that game. That being said, we are going to go into the next semi-final game after this and see who is going to be joining Yin in the finals. Which of the two Blue-Purple Luffys will be seeing him there and competing for that World Championship slot. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.